Welcome to this video. In this video, I will demonstrate a simple REST-based API built on Java Spring Boot and MySQL. REST-based Spring Boot, okay? So API, the API is there. API is there. Client makes a request, and based on the request, you send some data or information, right? So we develop API using languages, right? Spring Boot, using tools or libraries, frameworks, whatever you say. Spring Boot, Java Spring Boot, and client can be an application, or it can also be a programming language, right? It can connect, request, and get some data back and show it, right? Usually in REST, this type of API, the data communication, data transfer, it is in the JSON format. Okay, so web services, XML, REST, in general JSON. Okay, now, so how does it look like? Okay, so let's say there is a REST API running here, localhost DTD API department. So if I say 0, it will request and get the department. If I say 1, okay, I think the data does not exist. Okay, so it is bringing data from this. So you can see ID is in 0, right? There is nothing called ID 1. So if I paste 1, okay, I think insert into, I don't want to go to that direction. ID is kept as a primary key, so I have an ID 1, right? So I got ID 1. I think it's just the same information. I just insert one more time. Okay, so this is the Postman. It is tool to test API and to bring data from there. But you could write some programming language and do it from there. Okay. Now, so where is the service, right? Where is the API? This is API client. So this is the IntelliJ IDEA. IntelliJ IDEA developed the Spring Boot. Okay. So it is running. It is running there. So usually after you build will build it, rebuild, and run, right? Run, I will run it. If I stop it, it will stop. Let's stop it. So stop. If I do, so I think the service is not there, right? And even if I close the MySQL service, it still will not work. Let's run it again. Okay, so it is started. Let's do the request. Now we get the data. Okay, so let's see. So I think this is being taken actually from this place. Whatever code is there, it just stuck in there. Okay, using web client. They are using two different web services. One thing is the department service, and another is the user management service, right? And if you, I'm just showing the department. So what happens with the user management? User management, it gets users, and users makes a request to department and brings also the department. That means API to API communication is also possible. API to API communication, you can use a template based or web client based, right? Template based, web client based. It can be synchronous, asynchronous. Okay. So this is the step by step. You can build it. You can build it. There are a couple of things that you may need to keep in mind, and I also put it in the GitHub, SaIDAM Enterprise Programming. You can just github.com SaIDAM and then Enterprise Programming. You can just find this department service, right? Okay. So that's all in terms of, let's see, I just showed client how access, then I showed in the IntelliJ IDE the code, and I started it. I also show you how to build it, right? Okay. And I also showed that you can follow this tutorial step by step. For the most part, it will work. Okay, microservices using web client. No, not the web client one. Okay, let me see. I actually implemented this template based one, template based department service, right? But it has two parts, department and the user. The user management user that actually uses this template or web client, but I did not showing it here then. Okay, so enterprise application programming, you can find it here, but ideally it's best that you implement on your own step by step. Okay, now one of the important thing that you may face if you just write it and step by step, one of the important thing that you may need to fix. Okay, so department service, right click, I believe module settings, right? Module settings. This, I think you need to select the correct Java version, right? You need to select the correct Java version that you have, and also compatible with the, I think the Spring based tutorial, it has to be compatible, right? Project. So make sure that these things are in good, the correct thing that you are using, right? Okay, and as I told, the build, you can build, run, and you can see the build output here. If you build it, will show it there, right? Run output is here. Okay. Now, how did they start initially? Let's go there. So first of all, okay, what I will do, I'll show you the structure of the code, and then I'll try to do it again. Okay, write it again. Okay, let's see. First step, you go here, start Spring initializer, right? Start.spring.io. Okay, start.spring.io, and you're using Java language, that's fine. And you're using Maven, right? You're using Java and Maven. And Spring Boot, let's use the latest one, 3.2.2. Okay, and let's see the other one. I followed a ca.81 on tech, but I can use net.java guides. Okay, net.java guides, net.java guides. I think you can see artifact name is space. You put it everything, right? Packaging, jar, Java 17 or 21. Let's keep the 21 the latest one. Then you need to change in couple of places. If you have 21 in your system, that is good. Otherwise, you may need to change. I think the way I just told, right? Packaging, jar. Okay. Instead of demo, what you can do, you can use the department service or user management service, whatever name you want to give, right? So you give it net.java guides and demo. Okay, let's try to department service. Let's do it, department service. So department service. Okay, I'm telling department service to right. Okay, so jar now dependencies, right? You need Spring Boot. You can see RESTful Spring Boot, and usually you need Lombok because it's a database operation. Spring Data JPA. Usually you will need 3. Okay, MySQL driver, yes. It needs to work with the MySQL. So these are the 4 things, right? Spring Web, Spring Data, MySQL, Lombok. I think Spring Data JPA, it will just map. It will map your table into the corresponding. I think there will be some your application and database mapping, and you do not need lots of database coding for data retrieval or insertion, right? So JPA or Hibernate, AVATIS, those works in the similar way. Okay, object relation mapping. But AVATIS uses some sort of SQL more, Hibernate, JPA. So I think that's what you need anyway. Right? Then after that, what you do? You generate, and you will be saving it somewhere. You'll be saving it somewhere in your computer, right? And then what you will be doing, let's see what they're doing. Then you need to extract it and then bring it into the IntelliJ IDE or something like this, right? Let me see if I can bring it here. Okay, I'm just placing it in the right place so that it goes there. Okay, I'll try to add it here. File, open. I extracted it and then okay, it is there. src main Java. You can see this is the application start. Okay, you can build. Enable annotation processing is in general enable it. Okay, build is going on. Okay, build successfully completed. So I'm just running it, right? I'm running it. So it may not run. I believe the port is already blocked. Okay, so you do it and then you just create it, right? Let's see in the package. So you need to create controller, entity, repository, service, right? So entity, let's say it is just to represent your database table, right? To represent your database table, and you can use on all those annotations. So it is the department table that is representing the department class, department entity, department class representing the department's table here, right? Department's table, and department DB is the database. Okay, so before anything, after you do it, right, you need to change the application properties, right? Application properties, you need to give the connection string for your database, right? So under application properties, okay, you can put some properties here, right? You can put some properties, the database credentials, and some JPA related configurations so that you can update, and Hibernate dialect. Okay, so yes, application properties that you need to change, and you may also need to think about check the POM, right? That's what we do usually. And you need to change the Java version. So it is 21, you can put 18. Even if you use Gradle or something else, you need to adjust the Java version, something that's compatible. Okay, and as I showed previously, you can change the settings. Okay, so it is 19, I can put 18. Project 19, I can put 18. Modules 18. So looks like there are lots of Maven related stuff. Okay, after you change it, then you need to definitely build it, right, to see everything is working well. After these changes, and you can see all those dependencies on the modules, those will be here. Spring Framework, Spring Boot, Lombok, Data JPA data. Okay, so build successful. Okay, so first of all, you download, extract, open, change the Java version, change the application properties, right? And then one thing is entity, right? So the corresponding your REST API, if it is retrieve some data, so you can do some modeling from your database to here. This is just simple modeling. I think there is not much on the relation among tables, so you don't model it here, but definitely you need to do it, right? Okay. That goes the entity, right? And now repository, it is for the database mapping, it works for that repository. And let's say services, where you actually implement it. Services where you implement, actually here, right? Service implementation, right? Okay. Okay, so I think department, I think these are something built in, right? Department repository is mapping and connecting with the database and creating those database objects with the data and something like this, and then you're just using the corresponding to save it to do it, right? Okay, so implement. Now interactions and which path is where, that you can see here, right? That you can see get mapping ID, ID. If ID is supplied, then this is what you do, right? So let's see department controllers. So it will be under API departments, and under API departments, if you put ID, the we did 0 or 1, so it is just returning the data to the caller, right? So we just see it, right? So the controller, I think in this sort of applications, when you try to request any service to a particular URL, it usually goes to the controller, right? And controller then redirects to the corresponding places. So let's see, when we give this API departments this URL and then an ID, what it does, it is the response entity get department by ID, right? And get department by ID, that will work, and then it is taking department service and get department by ID. Department service is here, right? Department service is here, get department by ID, right? Department service IMPL, that is okay, this is the one, right? From the controller that gets called, and then it returns the corresponding ID from that database, from the corresponding record from the, okay. So that's all about it. So POM is there, application properties. I think there are a couple of things that you need to modify, right? And for all of this, you need to create those folders or create those packages, and then write the corresponding thing. Let's say CA take the other one, controller, right? Okay, right click, new package, controller entity repository, and then service. Okay, now let's see entity. Department, we can call it a class, new class, department. Department is a class, right? Okay, it should be all right. The package is there, department service 2, so corresponding thing. Okay, entity. Okay, let's do the repository. You can also copy it from the web. Just you change the POM, then application properties, department service. It is the JPA entity and JPA repository. Repository, I can take it from here. So repository, new, I think Java class will work. Now department repository, right? Department repository. this is an interface, but that's okay, we already copied it. It will do the extend JPA repository. Okay, I believe when you create the interface, there is options. If it extends something or not, you can put it. Okay, so this is the one of the mistake. This will be service 2, right? Service 2 entity department. Okay, department repository. Then for the service, it is just an interface. New Java class interface department service. Okay, department service. Now for this one we need to change this, and this is the package name. Okay, we need to use the public interface department service. Then now we need to do the implementation. Okay, sometimes you can do build. I think in that way you can instantly know whether whatever code you added is correct or not, right? Okay, now department service IMPL, right? If I try to rename, I just copied the name, so it is class. Service new Java class. Okay, so what I need to bring is here. Okay, so there will be something to do here. Maybe search replace could be a better option. Okay, so public class department service IMPL. Okay, so build. Okay, I'm rebuilding, right? let's see if I can start it. Before I start it, I will need to stop this, right? Run, stop. So this is the department 2, run department service 2 application. So it started. Okay, we kept the URL the same, so it is supposed to be working. Okay, let me see. Tomcat is starting on. Look, we are not supposed to be doing Tomcat here. Okay, I actually have Tomcat running. I can stop this. I'll stop the Tomcat and then start it again. Let's stop this. Okay, Tomcat is stopped. I need to see the configuration, what it put there. Okay, it is based on Tomcat. Looks like it is working with the Tomcat. Okay, started with context path. Okay, it does not show any error. It does not show any error, so it actually is supposed to be working here. Raw, preview, visualize. Well, let's try the other one and see. Okay, I believe it's just a matter of seeing what is going on there. Okay, the request actually is not coming here. Okay, and the URL and the request that are not coming here. Usually you can see it here. Okay, let's stop the other one. Okay, I'll not fix it now if it doesn't work. Just it is supposed to be working in general. Okay, let's start this one. Okay, it worked. Okay, it worked. Is there anything that we missed? Okay, probably it needs to be double checked if there is anything that we missed here or not. Okay, it is just the second one. If you want to use user service, use a different port. Okay, to run you could also use this ambient command from the terminal. If you want, you can do some little bit of experiment. Okay, yeah, that's right, we did not write the controller yet, right? We did not write the controller yet because the path is not there, the mapping and all those things not there. So department controller that we need for sure. I thought that I am all done. So this is the department controller. Public class, so package, I don't need this package. API departments 2, departments 2, department controller. Okay, okay, so far it is supposed to be okay, but I can see some underline red. Let's build it. CA Tech department service entity. Okay, there are some here. I thought that we don't have it there. Definitely we need to change them, right? So the raised red underlines, and those actually mean something, right? let's stop the other one. Now start this one. API departments 2. Okay, now we got it, right? Okay, that's all for this video. So what we did, we showed Postman how it interacts with API service. We build a website API service, build it, executed it, and showed the interaction. Right, we go to start.spring.io. We selected corresponding project what we want. Right, we project the configuration, downloaded, extracted it, and then we change the POM for the right Java version. Project module settings, we change the correct Java version. Right, what else did it in the configuration environment? Probably not that much. And then on the controller, entity, repository, all those things, right? Okay, that's all. And we showed that you can go to that URL, javaguys.net. You can also go from there, and in the GitHub there is something there, so you can download from here. However, you also need to do the database creation, right? Database creation and the corresponding tables, right? Corresponding tables. I think department DB database, that's okay.